Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I said afternoon because of where I am here. But good evening elsewhere. Good evening in Europe. Good evening in Nigeria. And for people that are here in the US, and people that are here in the US, I would say good afternoon. You are welcome to another session of this training program that we're doing as Nigerian Trumpet Guild. As a follow-up to the topic that we did before, Scales and Arpeggio, one that was handled by one of our very loving and genius, experienced, and fantastic persons in the guild, Miss Anu Ashawiye. We're having a very senior, a very distinguished member. And honestly, I chose to, it's actually my responsibility to introduce him, because apart from being the vice president of the Nigerian Trumpet Guild in the Americas, and then I said the Americas because we're not just talking about the United States of America, we're talking about the America in all, which includes, which comprises Canada, Mexico, the Caribbeans, the Southern America, Brazil, and the rest of them. He is the vice president in charge. His responsibility includes everybody that is there in any of these countries is the one that knows them, that coordinates them, and then presents them to us in Nigeria. And of course, Mr. Oluwaseyi Clegg, also known as Olu Momento Show, is one of the few people that we have in Nigeria today who play several instruments, and they play them to a professional level. It's very difficult to pin Oluwaseyi Clegg to one instrument. He takes the saxophone, the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the baritone. He plays them very. As a matter of fact, as a person that rose through the ranks in several bands, then at least I'm going to mention 4 important bands where there's no way they can write the history of those bands without him coming, on stream adequately. I will talk about Kola Ogunkoya's band. He was there in Kola Ogunkoya's band, between being the band leader, a tenor saxophone player, and a trumpet player. Later, he was at Orlando Julius band. Of course, all of us know Orlando Julius, how the main thing about Orlando Julius band was the horns. He was there at the coordinator. In fact, the glorious years of that band later was when Seyi Clegg was the band leader. That was one band where everybody was practically living together. The band was meeting every day. It was part of what he did then. And of course, he introduced a lot of people into the band, coordinated very well. Then Femi Kuti's band, he started as just ordinary member. He became the deputy band leader and later band leader, up and above people that he met. There were at least 4 people that he met in that band, that because of his skills, his management sense, and is generally a likable person. He was a very young person. He was appointed the band leader. I was in that band too, and we were there together. But by the time he became the band leader, I left. Of course, there's no way you're going to talk about the MB Stars. We played together in MB Stars band, which means the fifth one, where he's shown like a million stars, playing auto sax and playing the trumpet and flugelhorn. I remember in Femi Kuti's band, he was playing baritone sax. But before Femi would come in every Sunday night that we were playing then, he would take the flugelhorn and lead the highlight band, and then play the trumpet and sing. And I must mention again that if you hear about the Cleggs are an illustrious family when it comes to music in Lagos. His father was a very good tenor singer and organist at Hoas Memorial Methodist Church. And then African, if you know African Church in Lagos, one of the clerks, I think now is the organist and choir master of that church. And of course, there's no way we are going to mention Clegg without talking about the great Taiwo Clegg. Taiwo Clegg is presently one of the best, one of the most brilliant trumpet players that we have, not just in Nigeria, but in every part of Africa today. We are so proud of him. That's the immediate younger brother of Seyi Clegg. Seyi Clegg has taught trumpet, has taught all the instruments at Apata Memorial in the as far back as the late 80s to early 90s before he became very active as a professional musician. So I have said all this so that we know that whatever that we are going to learn today, if for somebody that who is a musicologist, who is an experienced band leader, who is a coordinator, who is a producer, who is a singer, who is a multi-instrumentalist, who understands music. So we're happy to have today Mr. Oluwaseyi Clegg. And I'm sure at the end of today, whatever we are going to learn is going to be something that's going to be with us for a long time. So everybody, let's welcome Mr. Seyi Clegg with a clap, wherever you are. I'm not hearing you. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one.
Hello? We can't hear you, Mr. Clegg. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Mr. Seyi Clegg.
We can't hear you, Mr. Clegg. Check your audio again. Okay, so let's just wait, give him a few minutes to sort out the sound. See, I think he's sorting it out.
So, are you all right now?
I think it's the Bluetooth that must have disconnected or something. Maybe it's the device to try to.
So why don't you remove the Bluetooth and use your phone? So while we are waiting for Mr. Seyi to get connected, yes, people have been asking, yes, it's the same Seyi Clegg that you all know. Yes, he played at Yahweh. Okay. He played with so many other churches.
Okay, can you leave the studio and come back again? Let me remove you, then you try coming in, then let's see what happens.
So, as I was saying, I will keep talking until when he is there.
Okay, sir.
I will keep talking while he's trying to coming back into the show. I am sure the experience that we have had so far with this training program has been pleasant. We have all learned. There are so many areas that we have tried to cover, from the management, the spiritual angle, the entrepreneurship, and of course the trumpet skill by itself. And let me use this opportunity to promote the what we are going to have next week. The Nigerian Trumpet Guild, we are not just by ourselves. We are an affiliate chapter of the International Trumpet Guild here in the United States of America. And I will tell you that what we are doing is noted by the International Trumpet Guild, the world body of trumpet players, the world body. And we are going to have, by the grace of God, by next week, we are going to have the person that is the current director of membership worldwide of International Trumpet Guild, who is a professor of trumpet at Harding University in the US here, Professor Cindy Carrell. We're going to have her. We're going to have her teach us next week. So let's get set for that.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Clegg here now?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
So we welcome you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. What time is it now? Yeah. Good afternoon to those in North America. Good evening to the ones in Nigeria, those in Africa, basically, and good evening to those in Europe. Well, it's really a pleasure to be able to be a participant or a facilitator on this program that we have going on NTG. Thank you, President Batik, for the introduction. I really appreciate that, And to quickly go on and without much ado, the topic for today is scales and arpeggios, and I believe a lot of us are familiar with scales and arpeggios. The reason why I said we are familiar is because our wonderful sister did quite a job introducing us to the things, and then we have other facilitators chip in, and then it was made more understandable. We had the likes of Mr. Victor Ademofe, Mr. Jumbo, and the chief coordinator Ron, which I was opportuned to listen to, which is very nice. I greet everybody. So without much ado, I just want us to be a little bit more practical and interactive. I would welcome any question and to have a better understanding of what I'm trying to throw across. We all know that a scale basically is a musical note, ordered in a certain frequency or certain pitch, and arpeggios are chords that are broken down, do, mi, so, do, mi, fa, la, re, mi, so, ti, mi. Those are scales as well, but when we have chords broken down, they are classified as arpeggios. Now, scales types and patterns are varied. We have, natural scale, harmonic, melodic scales, and whatnot. So I want to just say this. It is not so much about learning or listening to these classes or facilitations, whatever, but practicing, making it a routine, making it a pattern, by which it becomes a part of you. So that, the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of you. So there's no two way about it. There's no two way about it. And we always try to approach, be it, although this is a trumpet platform, always try to approach music as an aspect at which you want to excel in, not something you want to be mediocre about. You understand? Understanding fundamentals and the steps and things that complement the fundamentals in music. Aside theory, practicalization is very, very important. And these are things that you can't overemphasize. We can't overemphasize those things. And I wouldn't do much talking. Would do probably more playing than actually talking. I will talk, but I will do more playing, just to have. That was why I said I want it to be interactive. If you have a question or you see something that you think you can chip in, you're always allowed. Now, sorry, I'm playing a C trumpet. It's not a B flat trumpet. So please bear with me. Those of you that have the B flats, if you know how to transpose, from this is just like a concert key. It's on a concert key. and yours is a transposed. Majorly, most of you have a transposed B flat trumpet, which is good, you know. So, with that being said, one other thing that is very, very vital in learning scales and arpeggios and all that it encompasses is understanding solfege, software notations, you know, rudiments and actual software notations. You know, I found that a lot of people, they can hear some stuff, but they cannot identify the software of the music they are listening to, or hearing, you know, a particular phrasing or something like that. They can't really put a note to it. So it's a problem for some people. Our understanding level as per music differs, you know, but if I kid you not, if you apply yourself, you will always gain that knowledge that you seek. By applying yourself, I mean by practicing. Familiarize yourself with what it is that you want to learn, what it is that you want to know. And this spreads across everything, not just music. It goes beyond music, science, technology, arts, you know, and the likes. You are never sure if you apply yourself, and you know. I'm going to try and play a scale. It's just a simple scale, you know, and I will talk a little bit about what I play. Okay. As simple as that is, or that sounds, that is just a simple major scale. A simple major scale on a third. Do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do. I extended it a little bit just because I'm trying to relax my embouchure. I've not played trumpet in a minute, so I'm trying to use that to, you understand? So the more you play a certain scale, you know, that is a scale as well. You know, we can use scales for, let's just say you're doing a recording, or for an artist or your own personal project. Use scales for horns, lines, simple scales that, you know, it's defined, and this helps in making the music brighter. But then, how do you understand what scale to play if you don't even understand the chord that's been applied to? You know, so chords as well are certain things you need to put into consideration to have a better understanding of what notes do I bring into this chord to apply the skill that is in my head to make things really sound better. You understand? If you have any question, please put it across to the coordinator, Mr. Ronald, on the chat room, and we will answer them momentarily. You understand? So, like I said, I was using that to relax my embouchures. Scales and arpeggios are tools that you use on a daily. There's no way you can say you play or you're trying to apply your knowledgeability musically, that you won't use skill to embellish, improvise, ascertain certain notes, and then you play this such a way that you'll be able to get across your messages. And this cannot, like I said, this can never be overemphasized. And how do you do that? You have to develop your oral perceptions. You're playing ta da 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 da. Because of the way that sounds, people will know, oh, you're saying do re mi fa sol la ti do ti la so fa mi re do. But guess what? Some people they don't know that was do re mi fa sol la ti do. They can't process it. You understand? But when you do this often, God is so wonderful that He has, the way He created the brain, no matter how poor you think you are knowledge-wise, the more you do that, that is why they say practice, consistent practicing is very, very good, is healthy. Let me use that. It's very, very healthy for a musician or someone that plays a particular kind of instrument. Because then you test your tension on your valve, the tension, the resistance, and then the brain juggles back and forth to fit in to your mind what you're trying to project. And as much as you do that, it becomes a part of you. Like it becomes your DNA. I'm trying to use some not so formal terminologies, maybe I will be able to get across to people better when I say certain things like that. It becomes your DNA. So once you carry your trumpet like this and you hear a sound, oh, this sounds If you don't know the key by heart, you might be calling out a different note. But the most important thing is you are in tune. I can say that is mi do fa re so. It can be any other note on the music. It can be any other note based on the key that is actually played on. Do, as long as you're able to understand the home note by saying do, that is your home note. You're able to identify the key that the note is being played on. Then you're able to define, that's one of the ways you can build up your oral perception. It's very interesting. It's very good that you do these things. And when you play, you can create any skill by yourself with those 7 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. You can create any skill yourself. You understand? Part of the skill is the chromatic skill. Chromatic skills is more extensive, because you're now playing on a semitone to the first note, semitone to the first note. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, so, zi, la, li, ti. Ti, la, zi, ti, to, la, zi, so, fi, fa, mi, mo, re, di, do. You will understand that, there is ascending and descending mode on the chromatic scale, as I just sounded it off now. I said do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, so, zi, la, li, ti, do. Then descending now becomes do, ti, to, la, zi, so, fi, fa, mi, mo, re, di, do. A lot of people don't understand the difference. When you are playing it, you don't hear that. But when you're actually voicing it out, that is the way it is supposed to be. You know, the chromatic skill, just as I've just performed it now. Let me play. I play that on C major. You know, a chromatic scale is our scales run on half notes from the home note. Half notes. You can start yours. You can start with do, di, re, mi. You can start with mi, fa, fi, so, zi, la, ti, do, ti, ta, la, zi, so, mi, fa, mi. You understand? It's based on your understanding and approach. A lot of people have this problem of not really understanding certain things because the foundation or how they came to learn to play the trumpet was kind of not the shaky type. I mean, I was opportuned to pass through a lot. I played the brass band. I played in the brigade. I played the street band. I played the street music. It's a different ball game compared to playing professionally. You understand? Playing street band is more of takes more of energy, you know, vibrancy, you know, and tenacity. When you're playing classical, like you're playing in the chamber orchestra or a big concert, you know, classical music, it's a different energy. When you're playing a band, big band, you can still apply some energy from a classical setting to a big band setting. But when you're playing a band that is more African or Afro-oriented, or like a jazz band, that's a different energy. But guess what? You can always apply some of those energy from all those that I've listed into, it will fit into any setting that you find yourself. But that is if you understand the logic and the basics and the fundamentals behind that which we're talking about. Because if you don't, then there's a problem. You'll be able to fuse in those ideologies, you know, then you'll now be sounding funny. All right, I'm going to there is a question someone asked a while ago about what is that thing? How you can apply your skills to do a solo if you have a skill in mind. I mean, there is no wrong note, not so much a wrong skill. It depends on application, you know, but you have to be extra careful if it is a solo act or an ensemble. You know, if it's a solo act, you can get away with a lot of things, you know. If there's a particular song that you have learned a particular kind of scale and you want to apply based on your understanding. You do it with people that you're conversant with, that they know you, that you've practiced together, that you have, have a kind of relationship, musical relationship with. If you come onto like they didn't call them to come and do a session, like a section player, and you want to apply that, and you don't understand the chord, the background chord, or where the music is actually going, and because you are so excited, you want to express yourself. Oh, I've learned one skill today. Let me play it in this song. It might not work. You understand? That was why I said it is very imperative that you learn how to understand music notes whenever it's played. Always try to find your home note, whichever music. Find the home note, understand the scale. Let me see. I'm not sure if this thing is working. Give me a second. I want to see if I can play a music, and then let me see. I'm not sure if let me see if I can. All right, let me stop that song. It's a track on Waymaker. It's a performance track. And I think it's on. It's on G concept. Yes. Let's say this is a skill that you've practiced at your own timing, and you want to, when you get a chance, like apply it. Let me say this kind of worship song, which is really not, really not important, but it might, if you're doing a solo act, you can apply it to it. I ran a scale da 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 na ni na 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 ni na dido. No, that is actually this. I'm just using that as an example. And then you can go on to express yourself as the music requires, or as you feel led to play that music. I don't want us to shy away from the fact that, you don't have to be scared, but you have to know what you're doing. You practically have to know what you're actually doing musically. So when you play certain things, like, well, let's say a minor skill, like I was watching one of the classes, that was it Jumbo or Victor that was saying something about minor skills. When I first started, like, okay, let me say when I started with Kola Gukoya, was playing Afro. So most of the lines are on minor skills. So when he's they're giving me the notes. It is sounding different in my ears. He said they're saying do re mo fi ti or something like that. I was like, your do re mo is sounding like latido. What is this kind of? You understand? It was because of where I was coming from. Because how I learned my, I'm more church, hymns, street music, street band. So, before I started playing, I was playing the sax there anyway. So before I started playing the band. So when they give me notes to particular lines and stuff, I like this, I have to like sit down, like, okay, all these things is sounding different in my ears. So I give you a note, but it's sounding different. That was the concept I had when I was coming up into that idea. So when I started, practicing it now became a part of me. I now had to shift away from that latido, re mi fi so ideology. And, because I now understand the minor scales that is being applied to the music. How? Because I visited it almost every day. I practiced it almost every day. So I got accustomed to it. I got familiarized with it. You understand? There's what's this one called? It's okay, let me use a phrase. Yeah, a phrase from. Let me take a fella. On a song. If I am not conversant or have an understanding of how those notes are being scored, I would say, that sounds like what? La 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 do la re mi re la do la. You understand? But the music, it's in Dorian minor, so you have to always understand and respect that scale. You understand? It is not la la do la re mi re la do la. It's more like do mo do fa so fa do mo do. It sounds funny to me when I first started. Like, what are you people talking about? We don't do mo do fa, but because I wasn't privy of that knowledge at that time. But over time, it became a part of me because now that's what I was used to. So I can express myself even when I'm playing a major scale or doing a major solo. I can imbibe the minor ideology into it. And it will be like, it sounds kind of, it sounds kind of weird. Some people that have a better understanding might like it. Some might say, it sounds somehow, because they are not exposed enough to have that understanding. So, baseline, practice. The different type of skills. Do researches. Listen to music. All genre of music. I see that a lot of us want to play jazz. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. But do you understand that this jazz that you're talking about, African music, I'm not saying Nigerian music, don't get me wrong, African music, there's a lot of them that are playing in minor. When you listen to some Ilaje music, or you listen to all this traditional, like Apala, Apala is a very good example. Let's just say Nigeria, for example. Apala music. When you listen to how the originators, they sang their song and they sing the backup harmony, and then they don't use guitar. They use something like Goje, or what do they call that thing? And it sounds beautiful. Oh, all right. Someone just asked the question. I'll still go back to that. Yeah, additional Adekunle. So pronouncing the chromatic scale, I heard you saying Li and D when ascending, but To and D when descending. The question is, don't we have another name for D, F, and Z when descending? Well, that's a beautiful question, my dear brother. Musically, as I was taught, or how I got to know about it, because I grew up in a church. That's where I even know there was a To and a Li and a Mo and a Ri, Fizi in a musical note. When I was very young at the church, like, because I sing alto as a part, vocal part, alto was what I sing at the church choir. So when they were teaching us then, back in days in Sabo, I went to Hoas Memorial Methodist Church, Sabo, and there's a church beside us, Sulere Baptist Church. There's All Saints in Montgomery, Yaba. Those are the churches that it is so funny that I'm a member of all these churches and I'm in their choirs. So when we are singing, and then one of the questions I asked then, I was probably a young teenager or something. There was a particular, I can't even remember the song. It was an anthem, and then we got to know. It was a general, Thou Crownest the Year was the name of that song. Because I'm singing also. And then I was singing some notes. So I was asking, Thou crownest the year with thy goodness. Thou crownest the year, the fatness or something. I forgot it's a long time, I'm sorry. But I learned that because the person teaching us was a music scholar, and a assistant choir master, Mr. Dejimo of blessed memory. He told me, he was the one that actually told me the ascending chromatic scales, how it is spelt, and how it is spelt descending. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, ti, to. So I was like, why is it to? You said li, now it's to. He said, yes, that is how it is grammatically written, but it is still the same note. It is grammatically written as to. And why is it that it's the seventh and the third that switches when you are descending? He told me that, well, the way the music is written, and that was the analogy that they used to differentiate that you're ascending on a particular scale or a particular piece, and then you're descending. That is another topic for another time. Understanding your sharps and your flats, and applying the sharps and the flats, ascending or descending. And then sharp, flats, and natural notes. Yes, that is a topic. I don't know who's going to do that, but that is another interesting topic that we need to pay attention to. So those are the only two notes that changes. So the D, the Z, the D, the F, the Z maintains their spellings when you're pronouncing them. But the third and the seventh, which is the Re and the Li, changes when you're descending. We have To, Mo, Ri, Li, To, Mo, Ri, Li. So that is how that came to be, to my understanding. because a curious mind doesn't really go wrong if you are sincere and you're trying to acquire a particular kind of knowledge. If you're curious about anything, it's good to ask questions. It is really important. If you know what you're doing and what you intend to do, it's good to ask questions. With that being said, I'm going to play that Waymaker, and I'm going to put some scales in between. It doesn't have to be perfect, because this is just a class. It doesn't have to. I'm just trying to play something to make examples. Let me full track it a little bit. I hope you all can hear it. And see if I can. I'm trying to see if I can apply those accidentals as well. That is just a this and that kind of. I hope you're getting my idea. I don't know, but I hope you do. But if you do not, it's always open to questions that we can expatiate and elaborate as time goes on. Bottom line, approach this music as a trumpet player. Approach it with a mind of, I want to know this instrument, not because Lagbaja is playing it, Tamedu is playing it. Oh, let me to do it. Oh, but you're not following the basic guidelines of fundamentals that gives you growth in understanding. Majorly, Scales and Arpeggio, they play a very, very, very powerful role in your music expose. It's something that you cannot shy away from. It is something that you need to put at the back of your mind, that this thing I have to familiarize myself with. Let it be a part of me so I can express myself. Expressions differ. The way I will express myself on a particular music is not the way the next person will express themselves. It might come with something juicier than mine. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is know your beat, know your setup. And how can you achieve that? By research, consistently studying particular topics. If I remember, I'm making a reference to someone saying playing double notes or trying to harmonize, and Victor was saying that he is able to do that. Fine. Because Victor can do it, he must have put in a lot. I'm talking about Mr. Ademofe right now. He must have put in a lot of practice into the ability to do that, to create that. It's trumpet. It is not easy. But guess what? people do stuff that are like, even in with my years of knowledge and exposure, are like, wow. Why? Because they've placed themselves in a position whereby they can do those things. You understand? So I would want to hold up for now and bring this to a close, but it's still open. If you have questions, you need clarifications, you can always ask. And I know if I or the coordinator or other facilitators can practically emphasize and throw more light into those questions, into those topics, you know. And I think it doesn't end here. We can. It's a continuous thing, and it's a privilege to be a part of the facilitating teachers of this program. And I want to thank the president, Mr. Batik, for giving me the privilege, and the coordinators, the facilitators, the people in charge. They're doing a great work, from Dr. Victor Adimofea, Pastor Jimmy, Ron, you know, Kunuji, our lady trumpeter as well, and all the past facilitators. I want to really appreciate everybody doing a wonderful job. It is really beautiful, and we have to keep this going, because no knowledge is lost, no matter what. No knowledge is lost. On tiny notes.
No sound, sir. There's no sound. Sound. No sound. No sound. No sound. Yes, we can hear you. No sound. We can hear you, sir.
I hope it's not that the credit, the MTN or Global.
No.
Are we sure you still have credit?
I'm sure you do, sir.
Well, I want to say something.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you so very much, our facilitator. Well, it's time for question and answer, and this question and answer is actually going to involve demonstration, because the can we all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, this is actually going to involve demonstration, because as a learner trumpet player, the very first problem I had was some keys to play, or let me say, yeah, keys in a way, but they're actually some what are supposed to move. That's the major and the minor. What's making the noise? The major and the minor mode, believe me, as a young trumpet player, it nearly ran me crazy. It ran me crazy to the point that I was only able to grasp that when I started playing with Fela Kuti's band. It was so bad that I was struggling, and that was something that our facilitator briefly mentioned, actually to know what I now later knew as the relative minor. Relative minor of do, re, mo, fa, sol, la, fa, do, fa, mo, re, do. And then La ti do re mi fa sol la so fa mi re do si la. It became a very big problem for me. Some people will tell you like the example of da 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 da. That I said it's going to be about play. So let me see. La la do la re, mi re la do la, which now becomes do mo do fa, so fa do mo do. Is there any reason for that? Because for me, and I don't want to talk as a music tutor, I don't want to talk about somebody who actually knows the reason. But for the benefit of hundreds of other people that are watching, it's important that we let them know why do re mo becomes la ti do, and practically show it on the drum. It's a pity that our facilitator is not using a B-flat trumpet, which is the standard instrument for teaching. Because when you teach and you are showing people how to, the idea is for people, we ask people to do it as we are doing it, so that people can actually have the practical knowledge of what we are doing. But the way we are doing it too is okay. I mean, of course, it's okay. Is there a way that we can explain to them? We can explain to them why do re mo fa sol la todo becomes la ti do re mi fa sol la, especially that we have many people playing Afrobeat music. I'm not talking about Afrobeat with S, which is of course hip hop. We're talking about Fela's Afrobeat music, where we have basically the music is either on natural minor or Dorian minor, and many other Afro music that are on several other minors. So when people are learning the scales, you need to take the la ti do stance or do re mo, which one? So that's my question for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Clegg, are you there? Mr. Clegg, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I didn't know.
We
I
can't
muted
see
my
your
microphone.
video.
I don't know what's going on. No, hey, this video matter. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. You know, it says my video is on, but I don't know.
Okay,
It
I
says
think it happens occasionally. Don't worry, it happens.
Huh?
So what you should do is to restart your. Are you using a phone or tablet?
I'm using
Okay, he's out. So, but I'm sure he'll soon be back. So, but for those of you watching, you should also send your questions too while we wait for Mr. Clegg to come and clarify and answer some of these questions. Okay, I think he's back.
It's not only Mr. Clegg that can answer it. You can have other.
it's
What device are you using, sir?
Other people can also answer it, not only Mr. Clegg.
Oh, okay.
Answer it, not only.
Mr. Clegg, what device are you using?
Myself,
Mr. Clegg, so that I see how I can help him out.
if Dr. Kunuji is there listening, could Dr. Kunuji can please.
Yes,
You hear my question?
yes, the latido and do, re, mo, discuss.
Can we see you, please? I mean, you are in the abroad, you are the abroad now. Those of us talking from Mushin, we should be able to see abroad.
Unfortunately, I'm sitting in the dark. Everybody has to, it's light
Hey, we
out
are
on
okay
this
with
side of the planet.
we
Yeah,
are okay
fine like
with
this. It's okay.
we have to
So,
see you
so
from
now
abroad.
that you've seen me, maybe I should quickly switch to.
You're
Yeah,
fine
let me
like this.
just switch off the camera.
Okay,
And,
we can see you.
We can see you. You're fine.
okay, so like my take on this issue is, I won't normally, maybe because I've worked with quite a number of people who conceptualize music in very different ways. And so because of that, I won't be prescriptive. For instance, I recorded an album that the bass player is a French speaking African, and he uses the French solfeggio system, which is fixed. So when he wants to say E flat, he would normally say mi bemol, and D sharp or D or C sharp will be do diez.
Yeah.
And that is the way he would understand. Every time you say me, it's not movable, it's E. Every time you say T, for him is C, SI, C. So we had to do a lot of adjustment to make him understand, like how to, to make him understand, for us to be able to communicate. That's one. Then I also played with people in Cape Town, for instance, who speak letter names, like they know nothing about tonic solfers. And some of them will talk about numbers. They will talk about flat 3. They will talk about sharp 11. And, so for me, I would say that I wouldn't recommend that you change the system that you are used to. Like I've tried both. I know do mo fa so, do re mo fa so la do re mo fa so zi do, for the harmonic, different types of harmonic minor. And I also understand like la ti do re mi fa zi la. So when I'm leading a band, for instance, I would normally ask you, what do you understand? And I speak your language. And there has never been any time that we did not achieve results. So it's just, for me, I would say it's about understanding one system and understanding it well. So be it latido, be it do re mo, be it 1 2 flat 3, be it A B C, whatever system one is using, one should just stay grounded in it. Because sometimes if you change systems, sometimes it will mean like you starting to go back to learn and unlearn, and that could be disruptive. The end goal is to be able to make music. So I feel music supersedes everything. The music, which is the end goal, supersedes everything. So I would say that, it's a personal take. I know that others might have other takes on this, but I would say it's best you stick to what you're familiar with and be grounded in it. Like really understand it inside out, front to the back to front. That's my take on the issue. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Larry Joe Kunoji. Now, what I'm going to, which of course is a former, I'm not answering any question to, I'm still acting as the moderator. Isn't there, and I want another person to answer this, isn't there a global acceptable standard? Isn't it a global acceptable standard? Because I remember when I was in Fela's band, you don't say latido in Fela's band.
Sir, can I respond to that, sir?
Please.
With the little I've seen, and having the opportunity to play with a few people from different backgrounds, I would say that there is no universal language in terms of how to interpret scales. Different people use different. In fact, I was so amazed when I heard of this fixed tonic sulfur, the fixed solfeggio system that the French-speaking Africans use. Like, if you tell them so, it can only mean G for them. You can't say so in C major and then go and say so in D. So when I came across that system, it was mind-blowing for me. I was like, wow. So this is the way I had to learn it. And it doesn't take anything away from their playing. They play, all these guys who play sukus, who play, from DRC Congo. I played with one of them in my band, and amazing bass player. But if you speak any other language, if you tell him Doraemon, he doesn't understand what you're saying. If you say any other thing you say, he doesn't understand. So that means they've really mastered that system. And, that tells me that there is no universal system. It's just about understanding one and understanding it thoroughly.
So my conclusion about this, so that we can go to other because there are other questions. To answer that question that I already posed is, first of all, the only universal language that everybody understands is, no matter what kind of music you play jazz, you play big band, you play classical music, and even some traditional folk music. As long as you want to play it globally, the only language that is understandable is to learn your staff notation. And that's the point I want to make for asking that question. The only language that everybody understands, whether you go to Japan or you go to New Zealand or you are in America or Africa, what a classical group or a jazz band, which are the two most popular Western styles that is global, that they're going to give you, is a score. And when we talk about a score, it is not only staff notation that is scored, there are several other scores. But the one that does not fail, the one that will not make you to look like you don't know what you are doing, is to be able to be given scores, sheet music. To be given sheet music like this, and you can find your way around it. Because no matter what you see, what you're looking at is actually the score. But what is coming out is either the Latido or Doraemon, whatever that is called, according to what Dr. Kunuji just said now, it's a matter of perception. A first time we hear it as so, or me, or la, bemol, or whatever it is. It is a matter of what you hear or display, what you are able to hear. But you that is playing, you really do not bother. It's just that when you are improvising, when you improvise or when you play something, what somebody hears as re mi fa, that re mi fa can become fa sol z, fa sol z. You understand? So it is not for you that is playing to bother about how people are hearing it. It is for you to be convenient about what you are playing. And the only thing that can make you to be global in your being able to function in any band is to please to understand how to find your way about this. The one will be patient with you to give you 1 or 2 minutes to go to a corner and then master it when you know it. But no matter how good you are as a player, as a trumpet player in this instance, you find yourself in South Africa and they say, oh, Mr. Jandor, we have a fantastic trumpet player from Nigeria. We have a job for you. And you get there, the first thing they gave you is this. The moment you say, oh, the music is in this class, okay, let me try it, and you are playing slowly, they can say, okay, let's wait for him to learn it too, and then you play. But the moment you are beginning to say what you don't even know the difference between flat and sign, but you can play it. You don't know the difference between crochet and meaning. You can't even find your way. No matter how good you are as a player, you'll be asked to step out, they find another person. So the only global language that is understood by music is your score. And I'm not saying that I'm a perfect, extremely good reader myself. But believe me, that is the only thing you can take to anywhere you are going. So thank you very much. So another question,
Okay.
Mr. Bimo,
Okay.
Mr. Ronald, I thought you were going to do your round of applause for the president.
I didn't want to.
So what I said was that correct? What I said?
Yes, sir. Very correct.
On point, sir.
I didn't set it for this program, but I'll do it next the next stream. So I wanted to add to what you just said because I've seen this happen a lot of time. You see somebody, a very skillful musician, it might even be a very, very good studio musician that has produced a lot of tracks and music. And when you invite them and say, "Oh, we saw you on stage, you were playing so with so much dexterity and all that. Please come and join us and play." Then they put that shit music in front of the musician. And there are a lot of very popular musicians we know that the moment you put that shit music, there's going to be network failure going on in his head. Like, what have you done? What is going on? But what I found out is that, unlike what I thought, I see that musicians are becoming very, very understanding these days. I've seen where they actually give you the shit and say, okay, go and understand how the movement of the melody, then come back in a few days time.
They can even send it to you ahead. That is
Yeah.
what they're going to play.
And I think it's destroying the fundamentals of music, because now I see bands giving people MIDI file and the shit music, and they say, okay, take this the MIDI file of that part you're supposed to play, go and study it, come back in 2 days time so that we can rehearse. While it's helpful, but I don't think you're really helping the person you're giving the MIDI file, because he's never going to learn it.
Sorry, sir, let me say something about this. It is not in every case. Believe me, sending MIDI files and all that, when I was living in Nigeria, about 3 times I attended SCG, ICG conferences here. And believe me, the only thing they will do, they will never ever send you MIDI files. They will tell you, okay, the song we want to do for the Festival of Trumpet is Make a Joyful Noise unto the Lord, like the one we did in Michigan 2013. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Now, what kind of trumpet do you play? Do you play piccolo trumpet, B flat trumpet, C trumpet, D trumpet, E flat trumpet, or flugelhorn? Because the music is written for all kinds of trumpets. You say, okay, I play D trumpet. They will send you parts for D trumpet. You cannot ask them, can I hear the MIDI file? Then when you say that, you are definitely out. Because at the rehearsal, what I've gone through is at the rehearsal, you find out that when we get there, the show is in the evening, but all of us are meeting for the first time in the morning of the day of the show. The show is at 4 o'clock. They tell you, for the concert at 4 o'clock today, let us meet at 10 a.m. for final check. And believe me, the conductor is there not to teach anybody the difference between crochet and meaning. He's not there to show you what time signature is or what key signature is. He's there to see that You run the music for the first time, you play, you can say, okay, let's take it slowly first. 1, 2, 3, 4. You take it slowly, okay, let's take it at 150 BPM, beat per minute. And then you speed it up and you play. So say, okay, at that point, as the conductor, you can say, okay, I like this sound. Okay, can we go from bars 28 to 35? Can we play that twice? So that you can say, okay, what is there is just to reorchestrate the midnight that is meeting the musicians for the first time. That is for big boys. That's for people that can play. Nobody is there to worry about because I played the 7C mouthpiece. I don't know the crotchet I'm meaning. There they tell you very respectfully, can you please go and sit down while you watch people play? Nobody is going to start teaching you the difference between or writing tonic sofa under scores. Because they actually can take your part and say, okay, I think the person is playing trumpet 1, 3 of them are supposed to be only one person is there. Okay, can you take trumpet 4 that is there we have 8 people, can the 2 of you come and join trumpet 1? You are expected to play. So I am still reiterating the fact that the global thing, if you really want to play anywhere, if you've been going to American embassy or British embassy for visa and you want to play trumpet when you get to the country you are going to, my brothers and sisters, learn this thing. Learn it. Unless you want to play praise worship in Nigerian churches, yes, and they pay you $500, $600 a month that cannot even pay your house in. If you want to go and be invited by orchestras, bands to play, this is what they are going to give you. And they are not going to ask for MIDI-5, they will give you. No. So let me just leave it like this. People can still ask more questions on that.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, sir. We are trying. We want more. Okay, nobody is sending more questions because we need to we need to make the most out of it because we are still dealing with scales and arpeggio. So anybody within the panel who wants to throw in something, concerning scales and arpeggio, so that for those watching to soak up something from it, because we are underestimating the importance of these scales and arpeggio. These are the building blocks for any musician playing anything, not just trumpet. So it's something we can just ask. Oh, sorry, did someone send a question? Oh, okay. Oh, Mr. Okay. Dr. Kunuji, Mr. Shei is not back. He's trying to restart his system.
But let's ask the question because a lot of other people are watching.
Okay.
And it's recorded, so people can always.
Dr. Kunuji, ask the question.
Yeah, thanks again for the opportunity. I once heard somebody who said that you should practice your skills the way you will use them in the context of a tune, say the way you play. That is, the person was saying it's not just enough to practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and run it back because you hardly play like that. But what you want to do is maybe practice your scale in thirds or practice them in running fourths, like 1, 2, 3, that, 2, 3, that, 2, 2, that, or 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, whatever, like those kind of patterns. So what I wanted to ask Brother Shei is, maybe it would be helpful if you can share with us how you like the kind of patterns you would practice normally if you want to work on scales, like in ways that are usable in the context of, say, a solo, or even if you're writing a horns part. Like, how would you, like, can you just share with us 1 or 2 patterns that you practice? So thank you, sir.
he said he cannot hear.
Oh,
Can you hear now? Sheyi, can you hear now?
what's going on?
Can you hear?
He can't hear us.
Hey, can another person please answer that question, please? I mean,
I
there
think
are quite a number of people that there are people here that can let
there's
other people. I've answered one, so let other people answer other ones, please.
okay. Okay, he's about to. Can you still hear us? Okay, it's Aki Akinyele Akinleye here.
Aki must be here.
And Pastor Jimmy, are you on with us? Oh. Mr. Clegg, can you hear us now? I think his device keeps kicking him out.
Okay. Mandela is here.
Okay.
Mandela is here. But he cannot answer the question because it's not on the.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, people that can answer the question are just people that are here. Akiakile is here. Mr. Clegg is here.
Mr. Clegg, I think it's best you just use your phone. Oh, I can't. Let me see.
Yes, instead of the Bluetooth. I think you should just disconnect the Bluetooth and then use his phone.
Okay, so
Clegg, can you hear me? Make a sign if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you can make a sign if you can hear me. He's not hearing me. He's not hearing us. Dr. Joe.
Yes, sir.
Well, I honestly don't want to answer that question. I don't want to because there are other people and it is not my. I'm going to have my class sometimes later. So, and I don't want to. Part of what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about phrasing when I do my own classes on the fundamentals of trumpet playing. This part of what I'm going to talk about, how you practice those things you practice, how you play your scales, and what you have in your mind while you are practicing. You understand? And which I think is part of what you want to hear. Is that not correct?
So I didn't get that, sir.
I said part of what you want to hear is how do you practice, how do you play those scales and arpeggios, and what informs your style of practicing it. You just say like you're talking about sequences. It can be tonal sequences, it can be diatonic sequences, it can be chromatic sequences. How do you choose those notes? You understand? How do you choose them? I mean, what are the intervals? Are you doing octavo? You understand? What informs them and how do you use them? These are some of the things I'm going to do when I have my class. So I don't want to answer so that I won't second guess myself. I mean, what I'm going to say later. So let other people come on. Like Akinle is here, who is a very knowledgeable trumpet player and teacher.
So I think connectivity might be a challenge. And I see that there are quite a number of questions on YouTube from people watching on YouTube. So,
okay, so there's E harmonics. So okay.
N harmonics.
Mr. Ademofe is asking how arpeggio can.
N harmonics.
He's asking how arpeggio can be played to a mastery level. Yeah. How can arpeggio be played to a mastery level? Now that question is kind of subjective. Subjectivity, because when we say mastery level, what are we talking about mastery? Are we talking to mastery of being able to play like Victor Ademofe, or to be extremely fluid on the trumpet like Joe Kunuji, or like Olabiyi, or Abe Adebola, or like Jumbo? Are we talking about that? Because when we talk about mastery level, even mastery level has levels, has a point where, so if you say, how can we arpeggio be played to a mastery level? I once found myself, long when I wasn't living in the US, I just came and I was in the same hotel room with somebody, Mr. Gordon Gross, who played arpeggio in such a way that I nearly threw away my trumpet. He played 3 octaves straight. It's so that's mastery level. But he too told me that it's not really there yet. I said, if you have played this and you're not there, what are we talking about? Don't say mastery level. I need to know what you mean. We need to know what you're talking about mastery level. So that is about that is for Mr. Victor Ademofe. Then who has asked any other?
Unmute yourself, Mr. Clegg. Yeah, okay. I think he can hear us now. He's coming right back.
Yes. I think he said he's coming back. He wants to do something.
Yes. Okay. I think, Mr. President, if you can answer most of them, I think. Okay, he's back. He's back. Yes, he's back. So. Unmute yourself. You're muted.
The funny thing is, I'm actually on a Zoom meeting at the moment. You understand? In case you guys on the board. So I'm on mute as it is right now. You know. So
okay.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question? At least they can't hear me. I can't mute them because I have to use the mic here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a meeting right now.
Okay, Miss Dr. Kunuji, repeat. Okay, how do you, sorry, let me read it for you.
Mr. Clegg is here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, the question was where is it? 1 second.
There was a question?
Yeah, Ademofe asked the question. I can't find the question again. Where is it?
And then report back to the
So can Mr. Clegg hear us?
Yes.
Yes,
I can hear you.
I'm looking for Mr. Ademofe question about mastery of how do you play. Where is it? The mastery of skills in. It's like,
when you talk about mastery of skills, can I quickly take that?
Okay.
When we talk about mastery of skills has levels. That levels. When you play
on our behalf. So
Now to play the scale, there's something I want to say about making a musical sense. When you are practicing your scale, make sure that it makes a musical sense, either through using metronome. Let me start with the key of F. Can we see this is the key of F on the trumpet, your first verb, as your do. Now, what I do when I want to practice the scale is I go from that do to the top do and then to re and then come back, which is the ninth. Like now from there I can increase the tempo. No, yes, I can increase the speed, the tempo. That now it makes a whole lot of sense for me. I'm creating rhythm. For an African man that I am, when I hear that rhythm, it is easier for me to relate with. You understand? And that is actually one of those things I use as foundation for taking solos. Because taking solos has to do with mastering the rhythms. If you don't know the rhythm, your solos cannot not be. As a matter of fact, rhythm is more important in solo playing than notes. To understand your rhythm very well, you are going to make it as a successful solo player than somebody that is playing notes. That's why when we have music like that is more of playing with the rhythm than playing notes. Of course, we have saxophonists playing notes. What you are doing is simply you are playing to the rhythm. And I tell you that when you understand this rhythm very well, it gives you a good foundation in playing. So when you are practicing your scale or your arpeggio, make sure that you are able to pin it to a certain rhythm. In fact, if you pin it to a certain rhythm, I will tell you, as experienced as I think I am, you may not need the metronome. If it's something that African musicians don't practice the metronome, they practice with rhythm, and the moment you are able to play to a certain rhythm, and that rhythm makes sense to you, you increase on that, and you gain mastery. You gain mastery. So that's what I'm going to suggest, that your practice, put rhythm at the back of your head. Put rhythm at the back of your head. Like some of the students I teach, one of the exercises I ask them to do as warm-up in the morning are actually part of scales too, part of scales and arpeggio, but it is a kind of pattern, because when you talk about scales and arpeggio, you are talking about patterns. Sorry, I'm not taking this class over, please. Clegg is not here. I mean,
I think after you will round up, because he's also he's just informed me privately that he's also moderating.
Yeah,
another.
I'm in the middle of a Zoom meeting as it is.
Okay. So I know the meeting runs into one another.
Yeah.
No problem. So
Thank
I think I can just continue and then I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, please. I appreciate that.
yeah. So please, I mean,
As
as members of the executives of NTG that set this thing up, it is our responsibility to make sure that I mean we come in at this time when there are situations like this. So I think according to our plans and purpose, I think I'm in order. When there's we should take over and make sure that the thing does not run into a glitch. So what I'm saying is still on that Scales and Arpeggio, I've said one thing, make sure that you have a rhythm in mind. And as a takeaway, let me give this as an assignment to people that have trumpet. You can bring out the trumpet and then try and play this. It is elementary, but it is good for us to start with. We take the key of C. Now, that's the key of C. Now, let us do this. There are two ways of doing it. There's going to be a takeaway that I want us to practice on and we can build on. Now, we are going to do the first one. Of course, when you talk about trumpet articulation, there are just two that becomes like 20, 30, 40 different ways of articulating. But there are just two general ones, which is staccato, where you thump every note, and the other one legato, where you use your thumb throughout. So first of all, let's learn to play the scale of C on that. The legato, which is smooth, is that is legato. Now the other one is staccato. Now that we're not going to, I want to give us as a kind of exercise that we can take a trumpet wherever we are and then try to play. It is an exercise I do most of the time. Now we take the upper of the two notes that I play. This is the lower one. This is the other one. Now we take the upper one. And then with ordinary leaves, we play the top one, we play the second one, go back to the top, play the third one, go back to the top, play the fourth one, descending like that. Like of course, we can go up too from the lower do. Then now I can tell you that if you can do this, either the way I've done it or better than the way I've done it, it is a sure way towards your being able to articulate well. Make sure that it makes, I talked about reading. In what I played, you could find reading. I didn't use metronome now, but I think it still sounds a bit smooth. It could be better than that. I mean, some people can play better than that, but let us all work on this so that when we have the next lesson that has to do with this, we can also say, okay, I've done this, or privately after this lesson, meet me either on Facebook or privately on some of us that belong to the NCG WhatsApp page. You can play back, let me know what you have done with this, then we can take it, we can start something that has to do with articulation there. Or you can do we can play around it. So I hope we are able to get something out of that.
Okay, sir. Before we thank you very much. Before we round up, I think you should warn them that even while they are playing, while we are learning scales and arpeggio, they should understand that when you're performing, you're playing over chords, so it's not going to work automatically.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So just have it at the back of your mind that while he's teaching basics, just remember that once it's performance time, you actually will be playing over chords, and that's where arpeggio.
You'll be moving from one key to the other. You'll be moving from one arpeggio.
So that's where the arpeggio and the other arpeggio comes in.
Advanced one comes here.
The knowledge of arpeggio is coming. So we can't thank you enough, Mr. President, and
thank you very much.
We can't thank our North American Vice President, Mr. Oluwaseyi Clegg. You people have been wonderful and very inspiring to this webinar that we've been conducting for almost over a month. I'm so glad that we've come this far. I also want to thank Mr. Dr. Kunuji that was able to join us. We've already exceeded a 1 hour 30 minutes time marks, but it was really, really and not just entertaining, it was quite educative what we've picked up today. So is there any final words before we round up? At least I've learned how to play my scale again.
Please do the final roundup. I've already spoken too much. It's not my class. I'm just circumstantial teacher, just to support my brother, our vice president.
I could have played, but it's almost midnight here. My neighbors will
come. No. What I'm saying is, you can just do the round. You can just.
Okay. Yeah. So please, I see that a lot of people couldn't make it today. It's understandable. We know the situation back home. There's an election going on, and the results are being read out. I understand. So, however, if you have the opportunity to come back to watch, kindly leave your questions for Mr. Clegg. He's going to read it on. A lot of you don't post these questions on YouTube. I don't know how you want some of these facilitators to see them. You post them there, because sometimes when you post it on the WhatsApp group, it gets lost, especially when multiple and this torrents of messages come in. We lose it, and we can't go back to them. So what we should do, what is more appropriate, is that leave it on YouTube, and the facilitator will always come, read your comments, and respond appropriately. Even if they don't see it, I will personally notify them. So I also want to thank Mr. Ademofe. Unfortunately, he too has to run some errands, but I know he'll be back here next week. Then I also want to thank Pastor Jimmy for helping me out from the background. He's there just supporting me in case, just so we don't have any technical issues. So until we meet again, we'll communicate the topic.
Also our membership director, Akileye.
Yes.
Not talking, but he's there.
Yeah. Kudos to you, Mr. Akileye, for making our time to join us. He was here all through. He was here from the beginning. So we really appreciate you. So for those watching, I want to remind you that, sorry, can you personally announce our guest, the lady that's coming from the ITG guest that we have
yes.
the day?
I mentioned that when we started, when I
Okay.
was introducing our facilitator for today. Next week is actually going to be, we're going to start promoting it from tonight. We are going to have a lot of our trumpet players from the International Trumpet Guild joining us, because the membership director for International Trumpet Guild, who is also a trumpet professor at Harding University in Arkansas here in the US, is coming. He will be the one teaching us next week, and she's going to deal with tone matter. Tone matter that is going to deal with has to do with the way we produce tones and the way we play. So let us just be on the lookout, you understand, for this wonderful time that we have. So next week is going to be the turn of Professor Cindy Carrell, or Cynthia Carrell. She's the professor of trumpet. Those people that have eaten and dined and wined with Arturo Sandoval, with Wynton Marsalis, and the rest of them. I mean, she's a trumpet professor in the US here, and she's white. So let us look forward to joining the class for next week. And your questions, start writing your questions out now on Facebook and all that, in readiness for her, because she's a very good trumpet player. So thank you very much, everyone. Over to you, sir.
So you've heard it. Let's endeavor to be present for that presentation. Let's show. In fact, it's going to be really, really good if we can show and show support and with our presence. You know, it's be quite encouraging, because we'll get more ITG officials or trumpet experts always coming. If we have a good if we have a good showing on that day, we are going to encourage more ITG experts or trumpet professors to show up and encourage us to. So it will be this the same time on Monday. Yeah, by Monday everywhere will be less tense, and I'm sure we'll have more people here. Goodbye and